As humans, we crave a sense of love and belonging. We just want to live in a place where we feel loved and cared for. This longing for a safe home is shared by pets as well, but every year, 6.3 million cats and dogs are placed in shelters instead. How is this relevant to me, you may ask? Well, according to the 2019 and 2020 National Pet Owners Survey by American Pet Products Association, 67% or 85 million families in America own a pet. This could be you one day with your family. I'm here today to convince you that when that time comes, you should adopt a pet rather than shop for a puppy. First, consider the dangers for pets left in shelters. Shelters quickly reach capacity and simply don't have room for more animals. According to Rescue Paw Foundation, most people who can no longer keep their pet leave them at a shelter, thinking they are doing the best thing for them. Sadly, what they don't realize is the cat or dog only has 72 hours to be adopted before it is euthanized at many shelters. 4,100 cats and dogs are killed daily across the United States. Often, when families get a dog from a pet store, it comes from a puppy mill. According to Greater Good Charities, puppy mills are factory-style breeding facilities that prioritize profit over animal welfare. Animals are raised in poor conditions that often leave them traumatized. When mothers are no longer useful for breeding, they are discarded. Other breeders often don't breed safely as well. Now, you may be starting to consider adoption, but you might be asking yourself, isn't it expensive? According to petcarehospital.net, adopting a pet is much cheaper than buying a new pet for many reasons, including breeders, especially purebreds, charge exorbitant prices as opposed to other mixed breeds you tend to find in shelters. Shelters often take care of shots, vaccinations, as well as spaying and neutering for dogs, which cuts down on costs for you. Now I bet you're saying, oh wow, that sounds great, but I've heard so many horror stories of rescue dogs going wrong. If you're unsure, talk to the shelter. They often know their animals from the time spent with them, and they can give you advice into which animals may be right for you. You can even begin with fostering a dog at many shelters. Now I'd like to share some success stories with you. Cassie and Tucker got a dog as soon as their landlord gave them the okay. They selected an older dog, Buddy, who they fell in love with as soon as they saw him. They say they have an inseparable bond with him. He is loving and cuddly and very protective of Cassie. He loves to play, even for a 10-year-old dog. My brother Josh and his girlfriend Alexis adopted a pit bull this past year. He was the runt of the litter, was given to someone who worked too much, and was about to give him to a shelter when Alexis's mom took him and gave him to my brother and his girlfriend. They fell in love with him and have had so much fun getting to know him this past year. They've taken him to training, and he is such a good dog now. He gets along with them great, as well as their other dog, a German Shepherd. There are many more success stories on the internet. Just go on Google and search. While all of these are great reasons why you should adopt a dog, there may be some reasons why you should not. First is that you are looking for a companion for your dog. While this can work, it depends on the temperaments of both dogs, which is not always evident from the time spent at the shelter. Talk to the shelter and see, because they know their animals well. A shelter in Buffalo that is great is Nickel City Canine Rescue. You can adopt, foster, or volunteer with them, and they will give you lots of insight into picking a pet that is right for you. Another reason you might not want to adopt is if you have young children or babies at home. It may be best to get a puppy from an approved breeder who can grow up with your children. And the third reason not to adopt is if you have other motivation besides giving a dog a loving home. If you want to get a dog to help you exercise more, it's not going to be a good fit. He's not going to make you exercise more. If you want to get a dog to teach your children responsibility, it may work, but it probably won't. It's not a great reason to get a dog. So get a dog for the right reason, out of love, or just take a step back and consider your options for a few years. So many kind and lovable dogs wait in shelters, not knowing what the next day will bring. For some, it will be adoption. For many, it will be death. You could be the difference between life and death for a dog. Adopt today.